In the early 20th century, a revolution was brewing, not on battlefields, but in the quiet laboratories of science. Brilliant minds like Einstein, Fermi, and Oppenheimer were peeling back the layers of reality, discovering that within the tiniest of particles, the atom, lay a power so immense it was almost unimaginable. This wasn't just a scientific curiosity, it was a revelation that would soon shake the entire world, sparking a mixture of wonder and profound dread. The genie was being coaxed out of the bottle, and no one knew if it would grant wishes or bring about destruction. When the storm of World War II engulfed the globe, this theoretical power became a terrifying practical possibility. Fears mounted that Nazi Germany might be developing an atomic weapon, a fear that spurred a letter from Albert Einstein to President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This urgent warning set in motion one of the most secret and ambitious undertakings in human history: the Manhattan Project. It was a race against time, a monumental gamble. The project gathered a brain trust of the world's most brilliant physicists, chemists, and engineers, pulling them from their university posts and quiet lives. They were sent to clandestine cities that appeared seemingly overnight in the remote landscapes of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Hanford, Washington, and the now infamous desert mesas of Los Alamos, New Mexico. Thousands of people worked in these secret locations, many with no idea of the true purpose of their labor. They were cogs in a machine of unprecedented scale, all contributing to a single, top-secret goal: to build an atomic bomb before their enemies could. In Los Alamos, under the charismatic and complex leadership of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the theoretical became tangible. Scientists wrestled with complex equations and engineering challenges, driven by a combination of scientific fascination, patriotism, and the haunting fear of what would happen if they failed. The pressure was immense. Every day was a step into the unknown, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge toward a creation of terrifying potential. On July 16, 1945, the New Mexico desert was illuminated by a light brighter than 1,000 suns. The Trinity test was a success. The world's first atomic detonation unleashed a power that left even its creators in awe and terror. Oppenheimer himself famously recalled a line from Hindu scripture: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The atomic age had begun not with a whimper, but with a terrifying, earth-shaking bang. Just a few weeks later, this new power was unleashed upon the world. On August 6, 1945, the city of Hiroshima was devastated by the atomic bomb nicknamed Little Boy. 3 days later, a second bomb, Fat Man, fell on Nagasaki. The war in the Pacific, and with it World War II, came to an abrupt and horrifying end. The mushroom clouds over Japan cast a long shadow over the post-war world. While the bombs had ended one global conflict, they sowed the seeds for the next. The United States emerged from the war as the world's sole nuclear power, but this monopoly would not last long. The Soviet Union, once an ally, now became a rival in a new kind of conflict. The Cold War. It was a war fought not with soldiers on traditional battlefields, but with spies, propaganda, and the constant, looming threat of nuclear annihilation. The atomic age had transitioned into the nuclear arms race. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, America poured immense resources into expanding its nuclear arsenal. The skies over the Nevada desert and the turquoise waters of the Pacific atolls, like Bikini and Inutak, were repeatedly lit up by atmospheric tests. These tests, while demonstrating America's growing power, also released radioactive fallout into the atmosphere, raising public concern and scientific alarm about the long-term health and environmental consequences. The bombs grew ever more powerful, from the atomic fission bombs of World War II to the far more destructive thermonuclear, or hydrogen bombs. To deliver these weapons, a sophisticated infrastructure was built. Long-range bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress stood on constant alert. Deep underground, reinforced concrete silos were constructed across the American heartland, housing intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, each tipped with a nuclear warhead and ready to launch at a moment's notice. A fleet of nuclear-powered submarines prowled the depths of the oceans, providing a third, stealthy leg of America's nuclear triad. The strategy was one of deterrence. based on the concept of mutually assured destruction, or MET. The idea was simple and terrifying. Any nuclear attack would be met with a devastating retaliatory strike, ensuring that no side could ever win a nuclear war, making its initiation an act of collective suicide. This terrifying balance of power brought the world to the brink on several occasions. The most famous was the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, when the discovery of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba led to a tense 13-day standoff between President John F. Kennedy and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. For those 13 days, the world held its breath, closer than ever before or since to a full-scale nuclear war. It was a sobering moment that highlighted the extreme dangers of the arms race and spurred efforts toward arms control. Yet, the atom had another, more hopeful face. President Dwight D. Eisenhower's Adams' four-piece speech in 1953 proposed a new direction, harnessing atomic power for peaceful purposes. This initiative led to the development of nuclear reactors for generating electricity. The world's first commercial nuclear power plant in Shippingport, Pennsylvania, began lighting homes in 1957, promising a future of clean, abundant energy. Nuclear technology also powered a new generation of submarines and aircraft carriers, allowing them to operate 4 years without refuel. In medicine, radioactive isotopes became powerful tools for diagnosing and treating diseases like cancer. The atom was not just a weapon, it was also a tool with the potential to build a better world. However, this peaceful promise was also shadowed by risk. Accidents at nuclear facilities, most notably at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania in 1979, and later at Chernobyl in the Soviet Union, revealed the catastrophic potential of nuclear power when things go wrong. These events fueled a powerful anti-nuclear movement and raised public anxieties, leading to stricter safety regulations and a slowdown in the construction of new reactors. The dream of limitless, clean energy clashed with the fear of radioactive contamination and the unsolved problem of how to safely store nuclear waste for thousands of years. As the Cold War waned and the Soviet Union eventually collapsed, the nature of the nuclear threat evolved. The focus shifted from a two-superpower standoff to concerns about nuclear proliferation, the spread of nuclear weapons to other countries, and the terrifying possibility of them falling into the hands of non-state actors. Treaties, like the Non-Proliferation Treaty, sought to limit the spread of these weapons, and arms control agreements between the US and Russia led to significant reductions in their massive arsenals. The thousands of warheads were slowly dismantled, but thousands still remained, a potent reminder of the Cold War's legacy. From the first flicker of scientific insight to the race to build the bomb, from the terror of the Cold War to the promise of peaceful energy, America's atomic journey is a story of incredible innovation, immense power, and profound responsibility. It's a journey that fundamentally reshaped geopolitics, science, and our very perception of human capability for both creation and destruction. The atom, once unlocked, could never be put back in its bottle. Its legacy continues to shape our world today, serving as a constant reminder of the fine line we walk between progress and peril, and the awesome weight of the power we hold in our hands. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey through history compelling, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the events that shaped our world.